Dear sisters, welcome to the Competition Frequency Masterclass. And I just want to invite you, before we go any further, to breathe into that. The competition frequency. Where does that land within your body? And maybe you're a woman who's like, no, 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 I'm not that competitive. I want to invite you to breathe into it and to invite this frequency in, because we're going to be exploring it today in a really deep and intimate way. So as we arrive here, we're arriving here to face the sister wound. Let's just say it. And I've been on a walk of journeying through the sister wound with my own healing within all the women, right? With all the women who sit in this circle within us, and with all these beautiful women that are here in the world. So I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of incredible women out in this world that are waiting to collaborate, that are desiring these deep, soulful connections that you are as well. And today we're going to take a look at everything that is in the way of you finding each other and creating a flavor of sisterhood you don't just want to sip on, that you want to soak every single one of your cells in, because we've been alone for so long. So as we arrive, as we begin to settle in, I love to do this, and I love to do this especially today because we're working on the wound of sisterhood. I want to invite you to gently and sweetly begin to scroll through all of your sisters here, all these little tiny squares, and to really notice yourself as you do, their faces, their names, their emanation of unique woman through them. Just notice if any projection, any judgment, any comparison arises, without blaming it, without shaming it, just letting it be here. Because we can't do this work if you're not willing to see where this wound is still playing out. And as you see all of these sisters, can you see every single version of self that you have been, that you have desired to be, that you have fought against, that you have been inspired by? And even the sisters whose cameras aren't on, just drinking in their names. And just allowing ourselves to feel each other, because so often we don't honor the fact that we have chosen to be here together. Not just in this little 2-hour masterclass, honey. We have chosen to be together on earth in a time where sisterhood is needed more than anything. Because womanhood and womb and femininity is calling us unlike any other time any woman in our lineage line has walked before us. And I want you to feel that. No matter where you are in sisterhood or how confident you are in the woman that you came here to be, can you rest in the knowing that you belong here? And beyond the little voices that get a hold of us in the mind sometimes, you're very, very much needed. And you're wiser and more powerful than you believe you are. So I want to invite us to settle in just by softening the gaze, closing down the eyes if that is available to you. And if it's not, just inviting the presence to come out of the mind, to rest into the throat, into the heart, and eventually, if you can find your way down into your womb space. And just feeling your way. So often these classes, it's the first time we're giving ourselves the opportunity to feel this woman that we are. So just letting this be the holy ceremony that it is. You breathing deeper, not into just your lungs, but your being, your soul, your whole field, 360 degrees around you. And as you just gently settle into this place, can you give yourself a few deep breaths of just feeling Maybe there's a sorrow or a grief tucked away in here that you haven't let yourself touch. Maybe there's a little playfulness, a little spontaneity that's been waiting for room on your plate. And maybe, just maybe, there's a little girl within you who is ready to feel safe in sisterhood. And just inviting you to feel all of these versions of self within you, to take the shy ones by the hand and to bring them here, to sit around the fire of lifetimes with us and remember that we all belong. No longer will we betray, no longer will we cast each other and ourselves out of the circle, away from the warmth of the fire and the togetherness that is here. And in that, can you just find that, that exhale? Because you've been carrying so much, trying to let the world know how wonderful of a woman you are. And just allowing yourself to take some breaths here, to lay a prayer for yourself, an intention for yourself, and to lay a flower, a pinch of tobacco, a rose at the foot of the woman that you are here to become, and all the ones within you that are awaiting their return to wholeness. Filling your body with breath to keep you buoyant here, softening the belly. Feeling the spine lift you, inviting you into your place of belonging. And as you breathe here, can you just listen? Can you just listen to everything that awaits you when you do? Allowing yourself to feel what is here, what has been stirred, what has risen into your awareness. And before coming back to the circle, can you just let one little tendril from the base of your pelvis find its way into the earth, into these lands upon which you are right now? And as this root finds her way through fossils and stones and crystal caves, when she finally finds her place and begins to root deeply in, can you let yourself know, I am rooting into my place of belonging, even now? Just feeling how that steadies you, how the earth knows exactly which daughter you are, exactly how you belong upon her. And when you've made that connection, you feel that spark of remembrance, inviting you to bring that up with you like a seed into this circle, inviting yourself to go slow, to go soft, and to rebirth yourself here with eyes open in your own time. Taking a moment to take in the colors, the shades, and the shapes around the screen. And then bringing your eyes back here when you feel ready. And just noticing what shift has taken place. There's more breath online. There's more of your power. We're all sitting up a little bit taller in our place of belonging. And for those of you who are practicing tracking group field, inviting you to take your senses wide enough to feel all of us sitting here together. And what that does for us as women in togetherness to take that 10 minutes to root into what is important, our ability to feel belonging. And from this place to ground this frequency in, I want to invite you again to move through your sisters and to gaze upon them from this lens. And just notice how you feel now, how you can see your sisters now. Our hearts are open, our wombs are open. We've taken up that glorious space within ourselves that we felt was too much for too long. And now we can be here differently. And I know you can all feel that. Mm. So thank you, women, for taking the time to sit here together in a way that honors the self and the other. The reason we're doing this at the beginning is this is key code for what we are stepping into together today. So from this place, I want to invite you to remember that it's not just like 20 to 25-year-olds here, or 40 to 45-year-olds here, or 60 to 65-year-olds here. The entire wheel of feminine consciousness is here. It is here within you, whether you have tapped into those deeper pieces or not yet. And it is here being mirrored and reflected to you by every single woman in your now environment. I'm going to say something that's really important here. I want you to understand that I am not above you, that I am not here on a stage. I am not here with a microphone. I am not above you in any way. And it's really important for you to understand this, okay? Because if you can recognize that each of us have medicine to carry before we even move into this transmission, you're going to get exactly what I'm going to lay down very efficiently. I want to begin with a story today. I love stories. And this is a story about the very first time I sat with my elder. And it was in Costa Rica 10 years ago at this leadership immersion. And as soon as I seen her, I felt so much fear in my body. I was like, oh my God, this woman's going to be the end of everything I'm trying to hang on to. And as 150 of us, brothers and sisters, gathered in circle around her, she was going to give us an elder teaching on communication. And we all sat down, and you could feel like you could cut the air with a knife. It was so thick. And she looked at us and she was like, you all have a problem with elders, right? Because of our parents, because of our school programming, because of the way society is set up. There was this fear of her power and her being like a big grandma and like, oh my gosh, how can we go so deep with like this really powerful grandma, but she's still like a grandma. And the thing that she told us next shocked me to the bone. She said, on the count of three, I want every single person sitting in the circle to yell as loud as they can, fuck you, grandma. And we were all like, what do you mean? This goes against everything that we have been taught and all of my people-pleasing program and all of it. And she knew exactly what she was doing. And on the count of three, the unthinkable happened. And 150 of us boomed like thunder. Fuck you, grandma. And what happened in that moment? I've never to this day experienced anything like it. The energy was so leveled in that space. Everyone was sitting not 1 millimeter higher, not 1 millimeter lower than anyone else. And it was the first time in my life I actually felt, holy, this is what it's like to sit in community. This is what it's like. So I bring this to you now, sisters, because I've had the deep, deep pleasure of sitting at the feet of elders. And if our circles of elders weren't missing in our initiations into maturity and into womanhood, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have a sister wound because we would be unweaving it from our collective womb, which is what we're doing now. But this is why we're here. We are to become those grandmothers who level all the performance, all the pedestaling, all of the master slave, higher, lower, inverted phantom dynamics. We are to become those women. And some of us are even acting as them now, yeah? Our elder has a hold of our tongue. So I place that in the center of our circle because this is where we're going. And it doesn't make any sense to call you to be with a wound if I'm not showing you we're walking towards a solution. And the solution isn't an external experience. We are the living library that becomes the solution. We have the wombs that are here to birth everything that comes after us. And we're ready for a new frequency of sisterhood. So the competition frequency masterclass came about because I was witnessing this huge influx in my clients, in my sisters, in my personal life, in the collective of the sister wound just exploding out loud, absolutely exploding out loud. And as soon as I posted it, of course, it was like a Miss Universe pageant or something. Oh, there's a fun bike outside. These women on stage, I began seeing clips of this. The woman who won the crown, literally who won the crown, every other woman was celebrating the runner-up, jumping around her in a circle. And I was like, whoa, whoa. When you pick up on something and then it's just so loud out in the field, like, whew, that's how you know it's needed. And this is what is happening right now. We refuse to lift each other up. And this is the next piece of where we are being asked to go in womanhood and in our lineage line as the spearheads. We are the ones who are choosing where we are going. We have an opportunity right now with the internet, with social media, to redefine what it means to be a woman, a mother, an elder, a maiden, a sister, a daughter, a grandmother, a granddaughter. We have the pen in our hands, sisters. And the biggest thing that is in the way is the sister wound. Why do I say it is the most important thing to start to work on right now? One, every single woman here has gift inside of her, has unique medicine, has songs and stories and poems and worlds of color and canvas. Like, we are medicinal creatures. We aren't as afraid of our power as we think we are. We're afraid of practicing our power out loud with our sisters. And this wouldn't be here if we zoomed back to tribal village consciousness, right? We practice being women out loud with each other. We get our blood. We bloom our breasts. Our hormones come online. Our joy, our crazy, all of it is here. And we have mothers and grandmothers and maidens and babies to reveal to us who we need to be and who we need to grow into in every now moment of our lives. And we can look at this world, my loves, and see women are hurting right now. Women are feeling alone. And I know women with some of the most powerful sisterhoods. And when it boils right down to it, yes, we have many sisters around us, but how many of those sisters will walk with you through the hellfire? How many of those sisters can actually hold all of who you are without wincing? And are you a woman who can actually be here? Not in the way you want to be a sister in that moment, but in the way life and other women are calling you to rise into. This is some of the biggest work that we have within our hands. And if you look out into the external world, women are devoted. We don't have a problem with devotion, with longing, with yearning, with dreaming. This is what we do. We have a sisterhood devotion problem. We're devoted to our health. We're devoted to our men. We're devoted to becoming the best mothers. We're devoted to our businesses. We're devoted to our clients. We're devoted to our communities. Where is the devotion to sisterhood? And I want to ask each and every one of you, in all of the things that make it on your to-do list every week, is sisterhood one of them? And I'm going to take a long shot and say probably no is the answer for most of us. And this is wherein our deepest work lies. In not waiting for the phone to ring, but becoming the woman who picks up the phone, who moves through the resistance, who keeps inviting deeper depths of friendship. And when women can't meet her there, has the holy boundaries for herself enough to walk away. The reason sisterhood isn't nourishing for us is because we're not choosing anything else. We're not creating anything else. And I don't know if you know this, sisters, but when we come together, our prayers are amplified. We multiply and create everything so much more easily and effortlessly than we ever could on our own, on our yoga mat in our bedroom. We have to be real with ourselves. The realm of the internet has been really powerful because it's given us a platform to be ourselves and to magnetize other women who are in alignment with the values and the frequencies and the dreams that we have for ourselves and for each other. It's also the perfect place to hide away. It's also the perfect place to compare, to judge, and to sabotage your relationship with women if you let these voices start to run, yeah? So there's a couple pieces that I want to share with you. And then for the second half of this class, I really want it to be interactive. So we're going to do some breakout group magic today. I'm putting it there so you can mentally prepare yourself for it. But we're going to actually use sisterhood today. That's what we're all here for. We've done the hiding and muted in our little box for long enough. We're actually going to come out and break through. So with that, one piece I want to speak about is jealousy. We're going to go there. Jealousy and envy, right? That oh, it just feels like slimy and cold. And at the same time, has anyone ever had the fiery jealousy where you turn 1,000,000 degrees in 1 second? There's kind of both, yeah. So anyone ever never felt jealous? Anyone? Raise your hand if you are perfect and have never felt jealous of another woman. I'm scanning through all of you. Okay, that's so good to know. Can we actually feel the exhale of that? Wow, look at all of these women here, and not one of them is perfect. Not one of them has never felt the sting of jealousy. We need to know that. We need to have these conversations because so much of the time when this stuff rises, what do we do? Oh, I can't believe you did that. Oh my gosh, you're such a jealous bee. Oh my gosh. We battle ourselves and we push ourselves into a corner and we berate ourselves, and it's lonely here. It's lonely here. And it's not getting us any closer to what we're actually being called towards. Yeah. So when jealousy and envy arises, I want to paint the scene for us, okay? You're in a coffee shop, doing your thing, feeling good, looking fine. You're in your zone. A woman walks in, and immediately she has everyone's attention in the room. We all know the kind of woman we're talking about, yeah? She's got that radiance. She has a warmth to her. She's smiling even as she's not smiling. Her field is enlightening. It's enlivening. It's like a fresh rain coming into the field where the energy has been chaotic and dampened and whatever else. She refreshes the energy of the entire room with her beauty. And beauty, remember, is radiance. It's light. It has nothing to do with our weight, our height, our hair, our skin color, da da da. It has to do with our radiance. And when this woman walks in, you notice everything about her. You notice her body, you notice her beauty, you notice maybe the fit that she's got on, her shoes, her bag, the rings on her finger, her man, her kids, her bank account. What you start going into is she has all of this and I don't. And in that moment, we have a huge opportunity to catch ourselves from going into the super icy queen or that heat that literally shakes us. In this moment, can you see this woman as an inspiration, as an invitation, as an invitation? And not to like sign up for Botox or to go get a BBL or whatever the kids are doing these days. None of that. The invitation is, can you see how I love this world? And if you can drop yourself into that and say, whoa, this woman's love is something else. Because this is what we're here to do, my sisters. We're here to love. That's what women do. And that's what we do so good. That's why men are building a whole world for us, right? Is because we love. And that love takes us places. So in this moment, when you have this choice point, this is a choice point where jealousy and envy, comparison starts to rise. You can go the highway or you can go the same way that you've done forever, which doesn't bring you any closer to sisterhood. The high path that I want to invite you into, and this is going to be a hack that alchemizes your jealous-ish into joy and gratitude and pleasure in a moment, if you can continue to practice it. When you feel this jealousy rise and you see this woman who seems to have it all, can you for a moment see everything that it took to get her there? Can you feel for a moment her warmth might have been forged through the fucking fire? And it brings tears to my eyes because this alone will change your life. To be able to catch yourself and say, whoa, wait, this was her dream and she worked so hard for it. How incredible, how inspiring. How many women have dreamed for her as a descendant in her lineage line to do what she is doing? And in these moments, we have an opportunity to not just pour soul self into our sister wound, we have an opportunity to break spells and curses in our lineage line, in the wombs of all women. Because the sister wound isn't going anywhere until it runs out of the wombs of all women. That's why I say we are the one womb. We are all connected to her. We think we're so different, but we're not sisters. And this is the most important thing for us to remember. So in these moments where there's a comparison, there's this competitive frequency starting, right? Where like you want to fight, you want to scream, you want to cry, something needs to happen because this energy has been built up within you, not just in this lifetime, for lifetimes, and in the wombs and hearts of all women. Remember, we're deeply connected beyond what the mind knows. In these moments, and these moments are going to be some of the hardest moments of your life, I promise you. I'm going to give you a little magic trick that's going to support you so deeply. And I learned this in the realm of motherhood, but in the realm of death, especially. I became a mother not by life, but by death. So, mother of death was the first mother that I stepped into. I had two miscarriages before the birth of my two sons. And while I was walking through these miscarriages, like, oh, your girl wanted to be a mama more than anything. Like I was nannying four kids when I was going to college. Like I love kids. I love nurturing. I love that mother energy. My miscarriages shattered me. And I remember every time I looked at another woman who was pregnant, I wanted to be so happy for her, but I had this deep grief because I thought my body was broken. I thought I did something wrong. I didn't understand why these women had these perfect lives, these perfect pregnancies, and it used to build up resentment in me. Resentment, and resentment is sneaky, my sisters. We have to watch because the invisible bricks of resentment, they all of a sudden end up to be an impenetrable fortress if we're not careful. And we all know women in our lives who are walking around with a stone wall in front of their hearts and wombs. We will end up like that if we don't tend the sister wound. So, in that darkness and that sorrow and just the grief that we have to walk through as women sometimes when we don't get exactly what we want, we don't get exactly what our human wants specifically. I started to do this thing. And I don't know, it's almost like my womb was like, honey, this resentment thing is not working for you. So we're going to do something else. And every time I started to see another woman with something that I didn't have, and it started with pregnancy, I would see her and I would feel that, like, "Ah, I just want to cut out my eyes and like not be here until I've healed." Anytime that rose, what also began to rise within me was, oh my gosh, that woman is living out her greatest dream. And in this moment, it started to become even deeper. I started to see like the moment that she found out she was pregnant and the joy of her family finding out and the joy of her sharing this dream and beginning to grow and feeling this baby inside of her. And oh my gosh, I would start to cry with this joy every single time I started doing this. And instead of leaving all like, oh, what's wrong with me? I don't have what this woman has. I started leaving with my heart bursting for her from that moment. And that has changed everything for me, sisters. So when you see the woman who sells out her launch or is sharing herself online and she's not afraid, she's not ashamed, she's not holding anything back, instead of saying, oh, you're so terrible, you can't even make one post, right? And comparing ourselves, instead, can we say, oh, I bet she walked through so many fires to get there. I bet she had to go into the deepest pockets of self to find that bravery. I wonder how many lifetimes she had to lose her voice in order for her to find it like this in this lifetime. Wow. And I want you to feel, even now, what this is beginning to weave in our consciousness, in our bodies. Our neurons are firing differently and inviting us to walk down different pathways as women and as sisters, where we're not constantly pushing and shoving each other down. We're castrating ourselves because she has a man and we don't. She has children and we don't. She has a successful business and we don't. Enough of this. It's time for us to bring our celebration. And instead of ripping at other women's prayers, we're going to start lifting them. And what that does is all of a sudden, you're lifted. All of a sudden, you're lifted by loving another woman instead of hating on her, by making that choice, by breaking the spell, the deeply woven curse that has been in the wombs of women for far too many generations. You are lifting your frequency higher than you could ever imagine. And every single true blue sister that you have cried out for your entire life takes one step closer to you. This is the one womb. This is the Sophianic consciousness. There is one feminine emanation on earth. One. And our return to the remembrance that we are not separate, that we are not higher or lower than any other woman here. This is the foundation that we all need to recognize is below our feet. For when we do, we can sit around this circle of women, and I want you to imagine that you can feel right now with your womb that you are connected to a circle of women earth-wide, wide enough for every single woman, no matter her age, to sit here and not like squished into a ball. She has space to be her full, authentic self. And thank God, because we need women who are not afraid to be just them. Everyone else is taken. It's one of the most truest sayings there is. Everyone else is taken. So I want you to feel into kind of this competition comparison frequency. Competition and comparison are very sneakily woven together. And this is what I'm seeing, especially everything's amplified in the online space, right? The macrocosm is available for all of us to see if we're willing. What is happening is a woman will come up with a concept, or, do we come up with concepts, or do they arise through us as vessel? Up for debate. When this said concept comes through us and we share it into the external world, we are going to be met with a whole bunch of things. Well, look, this is my true self in this moment. Some women are going to say, yes, queen, you're doing it. Some women are going to show you their fangs and their claws and their teeth. And there are some women, this is the competitive babes, who are going to take that and they're going to do it better than you. Anyone notice this in social media land, or is it just me? It's literally everywhere. We're taking these concepts and then we want to be better. We want to be better. We want to be better, right? Oh, I'm the best womb mentor because this. Oh my God, I would throw up in my own mouth if I ever, ever said that aloud. What happens here when we catch ourselves in this is we're catching ourselves in the fake plastic pedestal. That's 1,000 feet up in the stars. And what happens when we become the master, we become the head priestess, right? Like we become the boss babe of all boss babes. When you place yourself way up there, so close to God, closer than anyone else, what happens is all of a sudden you become unreachable. You become unrelatable. And guess what, honey? Unless you are throwing down a magical ladder, who is going to be able to make it to your side? So we see a lot of women doing this. And of course, this is something that we've run within our own lineage lines, isn't it? We all have some family member who's doing this. She's the best. She's the baddest. She's the freshest, right? And what happens when we begin to live like this as women is we start to almost have this spiritual ego. And the spiritual ego is very sneaky. Yeah. The spiritual ego says to us, I'm better. I'm more enlightened. I'm further along. I'm master. I'm not beginner or intermediate. And all of a sudden, we start placing everyone else around us below. Oh, maybe that one's there because they're not too far below us, but they're still below us. Anyone ever notice this in our lives? We do this all the time, especially to the women that live within us, yeah. Especially to the women that live within us. And I just want you to feel into that for a second. When you're grumpy and you're stomping around and you're not very fun to be around, does she get to sit above your joyous, sweet, playful, spontaneous self? The answer is probably nope. What about when you're in tears, when you're in grief, and you need support? Where does she go? Are we beginning to see how we do this? So we have these parts of self that, and this was taught to us by in childhood, right? When we act good and we act sweet and we're polite and our posture's good and our lipstick's perfect and we're this perfect woman that the world wants us to be, we're easy. We're not too much. We're not enough. It's kind of like the three bears in the porridge, right? We're palpable, perfect. We found the space where the world can swallow us without spitting us out. That's what we've been doing for thousands of years. We are being called to weave in a new frequency here. And this frequency is one where anytime we're noticing within ourselves and externally with other women, oh, that part of self is feeling lower than, right? She's like, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve food. I don't deserve to sit at the table. I'm gonna sleep on the cold floor. I don't deserve a bed. Anyone ever feel like that? Those pieces within that feel so abandoned. They've been cast so far out of the circle that they don't know how to be warm. They don't like it. They like being cold. They like being far away. This is entrained into us over lifetimes. And slavery is huge in our lineage lines. Many of us carry deep, deep wounds of the master-slave dynamic, and they're continuing to show up. So when you have that part of self that's groveling, that doesn't feel worthy, that's kicking yourself because who's gonna love you? Can you invite her to sit up beside you on the earth at the fire and say, no, 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 we're not doing that anymore, sister. For when we start to do this to the women within our own selves, we can then offer this externally and women will feel safe to meet us there. If the women within us don't feel safe enough to sit around the fire in togetherness, what makes you think women outside of you are going to feel safe to be your sister, to be your support in motherhood, to pay you and come to your events and fill your containers? They're not. This is our work to do internally first. We want incredible sisterhood in the external. You best be willing to go and weave daisies into the hair of all the little ones within you that you have cast away from the fire first. So the same that we do with the slavery frequency, we have a very inverted master frequency running in our lineage lines too. Anyone ever been manipulative as a woman? Ooh, that was a spicy one for me to learn. The manipulation, this is the master slave, right? The slave goes low, they're groveling, 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 and the master cracks the whip. Anyone ever met a controlling woman or have a mom who was like, I need to take care of every single detail or I don't feel safe? She's running inverted, higher, lower dynamics. I want you to feel into how we're sitting here and how you would sit around the fire in community. No one's higher or lower than, unless like if a cute little elder needs a seat, right? Like we got you. But other than that, we're all here. We're all sitting. We're all leveled. And our consciousness as women can radiate and multiply outwards. This is how we navigate the quantum realm with our womb. It's 360 degrees. It's not this vertical from point A to point B or this success ladder that we have been taught to climb. This vertical architecture, it doesn't need to be here. The higher lower dynamic architecture doesn't need to be here. Instead, do you want to know what is actually here? This is our central channel and it is our communication pathway between God and earth, father and mother. So just inviting you to breathe into that and maybe just even feel that there's a correction taking place in naming it. How many of us are told by our mothers, keep your chin up, stand up tall, stand for this, right? It's not that They were calling us to be better than everyone else. They were like, my love, find your place of belonging because this is our power. So, in this place of belonging, there's one more main piece that I want to touch on, which is very important for us to recognize, and it's mimicry. It's mimicry, and it's also a layer of phantom architecture that keeps us lost and confused in who we are instead of rooted in that knowing that I belong here. We have two very important parts to our lineage line that ensure that we stay exactly where we belong. Our ancestors behind us and our descendants in front of us. And if you have yet to have children, you can feel them. They're bubbly, they're light. They remind me of like champagne bubbles when they come in. They're very different frequency than the ancestors. The ancestors are like heavy and weighted and like wet hides soaked with wisdom. So there's a different frequency here. We belong absolutely no other place except between ancestors and descendants. And I want you to breathe into that. I can already feel so many corrections happening in our wombs because this is one of the hugest things that messes us up in lineage line. There is a term for it. It's called family constellations. And if you've never heard of this work is wildly powerful. And some of the most foundational work that we can do because family constellations teaches us that our placement in our lineage line all of a sudden can then carry on. It's almost like there's an undammed flow of legacy, this intelligence, the original not artificial intelligence, ancient intelligence that knows how to continue on, right? The most powerful gift of humanity is it knows how to continue on. This wisdom, it gets really messed up when we don't know if we belong or where we belong in our lineage line. This is happening a lot to us as modern day women right now because we're looking out at social media and we're saying, wow, that woman's life looks nice. Wow, that woman's union looks beautiful. Wow, her kids are super cute. I love her bank account. I love how she's traveling the world. And then we try it on. Like we can just go buy a dress out of this woman's closet. We're trying on other women's lineage lines. Like we can just go pay for it and return it back later when we're done. This is causing more harm than we realize. So, this comparing yourself constantly to other women, for some of you, the best thing that you could possibly do right now is to get off social media for a week, for a month, and get rooted enough in your own frequency that when you go back there, you can make better decisions. Otherwise, you can unfollow everyone. This is so delicious. I highly recommend it if you have never done it before. Literally unfollow everyone. Let this version of woman who's attracted to all these things die. And in her death, who's here to rebirth in her place? When we're having all this comparison wounding and competition wounding coming up because we're trying to find our gift, we're trying to find our people. The only reason we're on social media is because we're looking for connection. Yeah. We're feeling the void of loneliness. So when we recognize that, we choose how we're showing up very differently. If it's not supporting your mental health to follow the people that you are following because it's creating constant comparison, stop. The choice is in your hands. It's really powerful for us to begin to soften our gaze, right? The search for sisterhood can leave you with tired eyes. Does anyone feel that? Like we've been looking for sisters for so long. We've been looking for our people and to find that place in our circle where you just dive in. You're like, yes, this is my spot. I get to sit here. Ah, we've been searching for so long externally. And the real big work that we have to do right now is to come in. It's to come in and to gather up all of these delicious women within us who, yeah, maybe I was an ugly duckling for a chapter of my life for sure. I'm an ugly duckling chapter. I love that version of self. I have a chapter where I was so klutzy, like I literally tripped over my feet everywhere I went. I still don't even know what was happening there. I love that version of me. And these versions of self that we've cast away for so long, when we go in and we say, hey, sisters, let's nourish, let's dance, let's bring our songs beneath the stars, let's trade stories. This is where the deepest healing begins to happen. When you start to feel this wholeness come online once more, and then you can become a woman who brings it out into the world. And what's happening in feminine leadership is we're moving away from this plastic feminine frequency. We're moving away from it. And as the world moves towards it in its own way, to be fair, but there's many, many women who are moving into this deep remembrance that it's okay for me to be here. It's okay for me to grow in wisdom, in wrinkles, in wonder. It's okay. I give myself full permission to be myself for the first time in my life. And when we do that, we all of a sudden start giving other women the permission to be themselves. And I want you to just feel that, to feel that parts of you that were afraid to enter into certain places, to see your man checking out a beautiful woman. Like, just there's so many pieces that are strewn across the life of a woman that hurt us, that we've just, oh yeah, that's healed, that's healed. No, it's not, honey. Just because you're not looking over your shoulder doesn't mean it's not there. So when we begin to do this and we say, yeah, all of you, you're so loved. I choose you. Come back here. I'm so sorry that I cast you away. Will you please forgive me, because I am here to create a new relationship where I love every single version within me, no matter where she is at today. And once that is honed, you best believe that's what naturally comes out. This is the level of womanhood that we are being called to reweave. And every single woman here, and every single woman tuning in from the replay, you have been prayed forth by the women in your lineage line that didn't know how to pour love over sisterhood. You are the answered prayer. So one more piece I want to share here, and then I'm going to invite us to take a little break before we come back and we dive into the embodiment and integrating of this into our actual flesh and blood, is I want to invite you to imagine just a moment where you judged either yourself or a sister harshly. And I just want you to just bring it out from the internal Akashic record and just feel what was the frequency that was pouring out of your eyes. What was the frequency that was pouring out of your mouth? And what was the frequency that was pouring out of your heart? And maybe if we feel into it, we're like, ooh, there wasn't a lot of love there. Or, ooh, it felt kind of sticky or unfriendly or isolating. I want to bring in one ally that you need to know about. And her name is Holy Mother. She is the feminine face of God. A lot of us, we have like daddy issues with God because we've been given this boom and thunder God that just despises so much. That's not true. we actually have this beautiful God that is both Holy Father and Holy Mother. And Holy Mother is a really delicious frequency to call to, the feminine face of God, when we need to see our sisters with more love. Holy Mother carries with her this beautiful chalice of the most golden, nectary love that you could imagine, and it flows slow and sweet like honey. Anytime you begin to look or project or speak upon yourself or another woman in a frequency that doesn't feel very good, I want to invite you to call forth Holy Mother and say, "Oh, Mama, I need you right now. I'm about to send a pair of arrows out of my eyes at this woman, and I need you to fill my eyes with your immaculate love, with your unwavering compassion." And in that moment, it takes 1 second to feel her tip her chalice and pour it through this beautiful central channel we have access to. And you can literally feel every orifice one by one being filled with her love, filled with her compassion. And if you walk with this practice, you're going to recognize very quickly that this is one of the highest alchemy practices that I could give you. Because in that moment, we're saying, my eyes aren't going to cut it here. I'm handing to God this projection, this jealousy, this envy, whatever is in the way of my love, of my adoration, of my celebration. I give that to you, and I ask in turn that you fill me with your immaculate love. And this practice will change your life, because that is the simplest prayer of sisterhood. Sisterhood is not complicated. Sisterhood is not complex. And if you have found it, you know. You can sit in a rocking chair with a good sister for 3 days in silence, drinking tea and listening to your chair squeak with the birds, and it'll heal you more than anything. This is our return, and it requires us to become women who love immensely. It begins within the self. And once we start to pour love over these aspects, once we start to see with compassion instead of judgment and belittling, every single facet of sisterhood and womanhood and femininity in your life is going to change. And you're going to recognize, whoa, women feel safe around me now. And what a difference that makes in the temperature exchange happening between us. So with that, dear sisters, I would love to invite you to pause for 5 minutes. Let's give ourselves a break. I love to do this because the transmission is pretty potent. It's pretty all-encompassing. Please give yourself a washroom break, a drink of water, a moment to place your face in the sunlight, whatever you need right now. And when we come back, we'll go into the second part of our class, which is some inner journey work, to do some deep work with all of the women within us and coming back to wholeness. And then we're going to jump into breakout groups and do some literal spell breaking with each other before we go into shares. So with that, thank you so much for being here with me, sisters. The call is going to be 1 more hour for the question asked in the chat. Thank you for being here. And I pray that your sister wound is already feeling stirred up in a really good way. I'll see you in a few minutes and we'll continue on. Enjoy your break. All right, women, inviting you back here in your own time. Hmm. It's a powerful conversation that we're having today. It's powerful for us to be here weaving this. And I'm sure you can feel it. Things are moving. We always want to look in the world for like the out loud, the boldest, the bravest thing. But the deeper I move into the layers of femininity, I realize that power becomes more and more palpable the more subtle the layers that we go. So I want to place that in your basket because a lot of us have been taught to be like the loudest and the la la la. The most powerful woman in the room is the one who is the most silent and can take the deepest breaths. Remember that. So there's one piece that I want to share with you here that feels like really powerful to tie it together before we journey into the internal realms today. And I'm going to be sharing an elder technology with you today. It's really loud. I wasn't planning on doing it today, but it's like, no, we're doing this. So we trust. So with that, I want to speak about our shared longing as women. Yes, we have this shared longing for sisterhood. But for many of us, we don't even consciously understand why it is so strong, why it overtakes us, why it's been such a deep dream of us for as long as we can remember. And the reason is this. I'm gonna lay it down straight. So there's no escaping this truth. Beneath every single dream and desire and ache towards anything that you hold within you as a woman and that anyone holds, man or woman, in all of the world, we desire to not feel separate from our divine counterparts. Do we understand? This journey through earth consciousness, we have come from our source. We are sourced by a source. Whether this is Holy Mother, Father, God for you, Creator, creation, divine, we come from somewhere. And the deep ache that you feel within you, and sometimes you think it's about success or not having the man or not having the sisters or one of the other 10 billion problems that women have. This is the only real thing that is happening. You are crying out to merge once more with the source of your source. And any single act of love, act of hatred, or anything in between that you see happening in this earth plane, including happening within your own world, is because of this one truth. We are longing to not feel separated and alone from who we truly are. And we all feel this in our own way, right? That loneliness, that alienation, that desire to go home, that when are we there yet? Because I feel like I'm just walking along this earth journey and I haven't found that place of solace, right? Once we know that, it softens everything. Because now we can understand every single time a woman in your life is acting out or not calling you or too clingy or this or that or supportive or not supportive, she called or she didn't call. It's all rooted in the fact that she doesn't want to feel separated from God anymore. And that truth levels us beyond all comparison, beyond all competition, beyond every single thing that we think we're here to be, do, say, la la la. The reason that we need sisterhood more than any other medicine right now is because who else would we want to spend our time in separation with. Do we get how silly it is to have a sister wound? The only other people here who get what it's like to be a woman is women. And so many of us are causing ish in our lineage lines, right? We're messing with our position, which in turn messes with everyone around us because we will not root into the supportive sisterhood. So many women are trying to get their husband, their partner, their beloved to support them in the way that sisters do. That'll destroy your relationship faster than anything. That's a lot of pressure to put on a man, yeah? Can you be my man and my sisters? No, there's no way he can. So why do you keep asking him? Yeah? A lot of women do it with our children. Hmm? We need our children to be who we never had. That's a heavy burden. Especially these children who are coming in, they already have AI and a whole technological world awaiting them when they take their first breath. They think you need to place your burden of them being who you need them to be for you. Nope. Let's not do that to our children. So if we refuse to face off with the sister wound, something eventually has to break. Yeah. It's going to be our marriage. It's going to be our motherhood. Or, ooh, another one that women do. You don't have sisters? Well, your clients become your sisters. That's sticky. That's a sticky one. So we need to really feel into how am I placing the burden of my sister wound on everyone around me? Phew. Because if we can really see that we're doing that and it's not actually in service to anything, we're going to change things so quickly. This is an upholding and a lifting of true honor, of true honor. And it fills my eyes with tears to say that because this is something we have been thirsting for as women. We desire to be upheld in honor by other women and to do the same to our sisters. We deeply desire to be respected by other women and to do the same to our sisters. And you know what we need more than anything right now? We need to be celebrated. We need to celebrate ourselves and we need to celebrate our sisters. So I guarantee every single woman sitting in this circle right now has not celebrated herself enough because she thinks she needs to be further. She needs to be more healed. She needs to be 10 pounds lighter, 2 inches taller, whatever the ridiculous thing is. And the answer is no. Right now, you are the most delicious version of yourself that you have ever been. And if you can recognize that, if you can root into that, like you belong in it, it's only going to take you to the woman who is such an amazing sister internally to all parts of herself and externally for the world. And we all need that medicine. And nobody's going to bottle it up or wildcraft it or put it up in a tincture bottle for us. This is ours to do. And the medicine is ripe for making. So with that, sisters, inviting you to really place this, tuck it away in a sweet little pocket in your heart to remember upon when it's needed. Because sometimes we will forget how incredible we are, how far we have come. And that's cool that we have so much more to go. Thank God, because we have so much more to create and we have so much more rest and so much more juicy dreams coming true in everything. Why would we try to rush towards everything and be everything now? So I invite you to almost have like a North Star in this work with yourself, and it's like a tether to the future. What's one thing that you're saving for elderhood that you don't want to have figured out until then? For me, it's pottery. Oh my gosh, it just I feel it every single bone. I'm gonna be so deep in the clay when I'm an elder, and every single like delicious piece of pottery I see, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be so deep in the clay when with my elder fingers and just all my wisdom, and I can't wait to be there. And I know that she's there at her pottery wheel and making the craziest sculptures, and we're having a conversation across time and space. And she's saying, "Babe, it's so good. We're having so much fun, just us and God and our art. We're having so much fun." So make a pact with yourself right now that perfection is over. That the performance of trying to be a woman who has all of her ish together, who is perfect. My mom used to always say, "What do you think your poop smells like roses?" Like she used to say that to me, and I was like, "No, I guess you're right." But then I got married and my last name changed to Rose. So a little bit of a joke there. But we're in conversation with the woman that we came here to become. We have so much time to get towards her, to get even close to her. And look at all the epic women on this earth. Why aren't we hanging out? Why aren't we making more music, writing poems, jumping naked into rivers together? This is the medicine. This is why we love women, because a cup of tea with a sister is the highest medicine that there is. And in this world where things are just crazy and frenetic and just, it's wild, there's a lot of data and information here. We need each other to say, "Hey, do you want to go lay in the sun and write poems?" Yeah, yeah, I do, because nothing else matters right now but that. We need to be the reminder, that sacred reminder that we're here tending this fire together. And we all know how. We're all fire tenders in our own right. Yeah. So, with that, I invite you to come in with me, to let the body know we're going to go into the internal fire, in fact, for a few minutes. So, inviting you to find a comfortable seat, maybe that is reclining, sitting up tall, laying down. Sometimes it's even lovely just to move with the knees bent. Allowing yourself to signal to mind and body, it's time to go in, it's time to settle down, and inviting you to take a few deep breaths to arrive into the space within you. And as the breath begins to slow and soften, and you return to this place that we prepared at the beginning of our call, can you notice what is here? Can you feel that there is spaciousness, there is an opening, there is a lightness here in the field? Inviting you to find your own way using the next few deep breaths to arrive to a beautiful fireplace in the center of your womb. And around this fire, maybe set in stones or shelves, you can see that there are many cushions laid in a circle around. As you breathe, you invite yourself to find your place of belonging and sit. And feeling how that firelight just has that welcoming energy. It knows how to call the bones of those who are cold within you. And as you arrive here, inviting all of the women that live within you to find their place. And maybe you sing out a song, a tune, or a hum. There's a whistle or a conch shell or a drum or a rattle played. And as the women come one by one to find their place, and they begin to fill up the circle, just see how the firelight touches each and every one of them, lighting up their face and also casting shadow. And as these women arrive around the fire, each of them finding their place, just notice maybe they don't fully feel like they belong here. They understand that they've been called. And just feeling maybe there's a hesitation or resistance coming close to the fire, but not too close. And just inviting yourself to see all of these versions of self and to see that you were the one to cast them away from the fire. It was by your hand that they were betrayed. Just allowing the full responsibility of this to land within you, to feel what you need to feel. And then inviting you to walk around the circle. And every single one of these women were hurt by one of your arrows. Maybe it was a projection or a thought or a harsh word. But every single one of these women holds within her lap a broken arrow. Allowing you to go around. And as you receive every single arrow from each woman, inviting her a trade, the arrow into your hand for a rose into hers. And as you visit each woman one by one, as you take the arrow from them, you place it in your basket, and you offer a rose in return, can you feel how much life this brings into her? A smile upon her face, a sweetness into her smile. Just allowing yourself to make your way around the circle, changing the frequency of it as you do. And once you have made your way all the way around, just seeing how each of these women are more surrendered, they're more relaxed in their place. Maybe they're leaning on each other and giggling and laughing. Allowing yourself to feel that there is a sweetness, a grace that you have brought. And then inviting you to take this basket of arrows and to snap them like twigs into tiny pieces and feed them to the fire. The flames of the fire growing wider and higher as they snap and crackle as you feed them. And just feeling now how so much projection, so much judgment, so much self-hatred, self-loathing is being alchemized in the fire of lifetimes, transmuted into smoke, the technology of lifting prayers. Giving yourself a moment to feel this smoke lift all the way up to the stars, to the royal star lineage lines from which you have come. And just taking a moment to feel the soulless that is now here. That it doesn't feel fragmented here, that it feels whole. And from this place, can you once find your seat in the circle again? And can you hold each other around the back of the hearts and begin to sing, begin to sway together in only a way that feminine remembrance can? And as you breathe deeply, feeling the unification of all parts within you. All the women, from the tiniest little babe to the sweetest old grandmother, are all swaying in harmony to the same ancient song. And just allowing from this space for one unified prayer to come from your circle into the fire in the center. For every single cell in your body to remember what it feels like to be whole within. And allowing the breath to deepen, to take this frequency and to place it in between every single cell in your body. Not one part of you lost in the idea that you don't belong. Inviting yourself to take another few deep breaths here. And then before closing this ceremony internally, asking your circle of sisters, is there anything that you desire to share with me right now? Filling your lungs with the space to receive them. And as you receive their share, gently tucking the chin and just giving them an inner nod, an inner bow, an acknowledgement of their wisdom, of their love, of how powerful they are when they move as one. And before leaving this space, can you seed this sound into your womb? I belong. I belong. I belong. And just breathing into what that creates within you. Inviting you to take a few more moments to begin to gently say your goodbyes to these women, to let them know to keep singing, to keep humming, to keep drumming, and that you won't let it be so long before you return. Giving yourself a few deep breaths to gently begin making your way, the long pilgrimage from womb back up into this circle. Taking your time, letting it be the rebirth medicine that you need right now. And as you gently begin to come out and meet us in the topside world, can you feel the wholeness of the women who are sitting in this circle with you? And just how good it feels to be here together, to know that every woman here is so powerful that we couldn't even figure it all out if we wanted to. That every woman in this circle knows bone deep that she belongs. I want you to feel this, to remember this, because it's something we need more of in the external. And now that you have tasted it, you have these beautiful two hands to go and co-create it and to give this as a gift to sisters who don't know that the only way to feel whole is just a simple song, a simple journey internally to tend to the women who are here. This is what begins to weave a new thread of sisterhood. Wonderful. Look, everyone's all souped up. We're all juicy and soft and smiley. Who knew? Who knew that we just need a little women in our life to speak love into us? Phew. So how are we feeling, women? Did that pour a little something in your cup? I would absolutely love to invite a few of you to share with us because it's fun to hear me talk. I could story tell all day long and all night long, and maybe one day we'll get to do that under the stars together. But there's such depth in hearing from each other. And I love closing with shares because it's so powerful to remember that every single woman in the circle, sometimes we come in and we're like, oh, I don't know if I belong, or oh, I don't know if I'm good enough, or oh, my outfit might be too much today. And then we sit and we simmer with each other. And at the end, we're like, this is exactly what we needed. This is exactly what we needed and what we always need. It's just a little sister time. So with that, I would invite a few of you to place your hand up or share anything in the chat that you would love to share. But it'd be nice to get some other voices in here today. So if you're feeling brave, I would love to invite you to come and share, giving you a moment to feel into it. I know it's a lot, right? Receiving all this love, healing our sister wounds. There's only so much you can do in 2 hours. So giving you a moment to arrive. And honoring all of you mamas who are driving and with Wi-Fi that's in or out is so powerful. Fee, we would love to hear from you, sister.
Hey, so good to be here. And yeah, it's a very sensitive wound. Um, because yeah, also in my family there's a lot of sister wound going on. And I've seen it with my mom and my aunt, and I learned from it, but I'm also in this, I have a couple of years now that I'm really deep in that wound. So yeah, it's deep. It's yeah, it's also because we have this understanding that other women, they need to know what we're going through because we're all women and we know how it is to be a woman in this world. And then we think, if I'm going through all this pain, you should know what kind of pain that is. But we also have a different journey. Everybody has their own journey. And also being compassionate with that difference. And yes, that's also what my wound was, that I told Ross, is that I felt left behind, or that I felt like I was going through a totally different journey, and that I'm exactly where I need to be, and that's and my friends are exactly where they need to be, and to allow that, and not to be jealous or to be envious, but also let that empower ourselves to do the best and to do the and yeah, that's what I came through through, yes, in this 2 hours. Yeah, thank you.
That's so, so beautiful, honey. Thank you so much for sharing this. And how often do we get to speak our wound to other women, right? To just say it and be like, blah, I'm saying it out loud. There's such a release and a spaciousness that comes from doing that. And then from you actually recognizing that you didn't get left behind, that we place that we need to be this perfect version of self or we're not going to have perfect sisterhood. And it couldn't be further from the truth. And to give each other the sweetness. It's a sweet gift that we can offer each other to be ourselves and to not have it all figured out and to go it our own way, knowing that we're not going to get kicked out of the circle because it doesn't look exactly like how we do it. So thank you for bringing this. It's so freeing and liberating to hear you speak it. So may it liberate and continue to free you in all of your sister circles in your life. Thank you, Fee. So powerful. Carolyn, I would love to hear you, sister. Inviting you to unmute and share with
Yeah.
us.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to really, really short reply. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I'm really moved. I mean, I know the power of sisterhood. I know the power of giving compliments, but it was just a few minutes with two women, and it went so deep. It was really like a precious gift, and um, yeah, and also to notice that in a few minutes, or actually a few seconds, you can see in another woman's energy what her themes are and what her gifts are and what her, yeah, just you can see so much in a few seconds when you really want to see, when you really look. So just thank you. Yeah.
Oh, that made my eyes tear up because
Mm.
it's so true. Like we think we need the 5 hour goddess gathering and everyone has to have the perfect fit. And if there isn't rose petals on every cushion, what are we gonna do, right? No, we need curiosity. We need to say, oh my gosh, a woman. How can I love this woman? How can I find my way around like the sharp, cold, spicy edges to the heart of who she is? Because I know beneath all those protective mechanisms that she is so potent and beautiful and caring and full of everything inside. So thank you. And it's so beautiful to see your face light up. We're all in such a different energy than the beginning of class. And each and every one of you got this like perfect little smirk on your face. And this is what sisterhood does. It keeps us giddy, it keeps us alive, and then we can go love our men even when they're fallible. We can go love our children even when they're tantruming. We can go out into the world and love it even though it's kind of spicy a lot of the time. This is what we set each other and ourselves up for when we lean into the sisterhood that is here. So thank you, sisters. Faith, I would love to call upon you to share with us. Thank you for your bravery, sisters.
Thank you for this space. Yeah, this was a bit emotional for me, especially when we kind of took that inner journey and I saw the fire, and the first thing I heard was, "We've been waiting for you." And yeah, there's just a lot of emotions coming up with this. And I was even like hesitating sharing because I was like, oh, like, I'm not trying to cry in front of all these people I don't really know, but I do that pretty easily in women's circles, in real life. But I know these people, so it's a bit uncomfortable right now. But I also recognize the medicine in being seen in all of my expressions and in my tears, and so yeah, that was what was present for me. And in the breakout circle, just shared this mistrust that I feel um, due to like betrayal and things, and in this life and maybe another one, not too sure. But yeah, I am very grateful because I know that this is going to transform the way that I relate to my sisters. And even just noticing I've had this like aversion to calling people my sisters before. Like, I'm like, you're not my sister. Like, we're not, like, I feel that connection, but I'm also like, I guess I had this block um around really claiming that, and even having people call me that, because it was like, we're not blood, and just all these different things, these stories, these narratives. But yeah, I'm really grateful. That's really present right now, is the gratitude even amidst the tears. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Faith. Can feel your heart, sister. Sister. Wow. We've been waiting for you. Too many ancestors have been singing that for us for so long. We've been waiting for you. Yeah, this is where the witch wound runs out, my loves. And I'm honoring your tears, Faith. My elder that I spoke about at the beginning of our call, she taught me that when we cry in circles of women, our tears are feeding our ancestors. They're feeding our grandmothers who have been thirsty for the real, true blue tears of women for so long. So every time we cry, we don't just wipe them away and we're not like, oh, 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 nothing happening here. Those grandmothers have thirsted for our tears for a long, long time. Let them drink, yeah. So thank you for being vulnerable online and allowing yourself to shine. It's so powerful. It's so powerful to break through all the stories, all the sticky shit that doesn't need to be here anymore, that separates us. And to recognize, like, could you imagine being this open and vulnerable with a bunch of men sitting in here? Like, it'd be so different. Sisterhood is such a holy gift. And, I teach a lot of master classes. I weave a lot of medicine with groups of women all over the place. When we go into the sister work, there is like this joy frequency online. And that's how you know that our ancestors have been praying for us to pick up this work. Because our togetherness, when we have each other, you just need one compliment from one of your sisters. Girl, your butt is looking so cute today. I don't care what's going on in here. Thank you, God, I needed that. Thank you, God, I needed that today. We have, we have everything we need. And it's right here with each other. We don't need to be perfect. We don't need to wait until do-do-do or do-do-do or do-do-do. All the stories, feed them to the fire. And that fire is going to burst in flames. And all the cold women in your life are going to say, sheesh, look at that bonfire she's got going on. Songs come out of bonfires. Good stories come out of bonfires. We warm ourselves. We go home toasty and smelling like smoke. And that's the holiest thing that we can offer each other. So, with that, dear sisters, thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm so grateful. I know after the eclipse and after equinox, like this is actually the medicine we needed. We just needed a revamp. We needed to have some prayers blown underneath our feathers to lift into this frequency of sisterhood where we know how to soar. Sisterhood is what brings us to synarchy. You know, all those birds that fly together in the sky and they're so beautiful? That's where we are remembering ourselves to. You know, those schools of fish that you're just like, what? How can they do that together? That's what we are walking towards right now with this work we are doing. So thank you on behalf of all women who are really still scared and afraid to touch this wound, to face it, to pour love over it. You're doing such incredible work on behalf of so many of us who aren't there yet. So thank you so deeply on behalf of all women. Your girl is turning 39, and I have a promise with myself that I'm about to make this the best year ever. And when I step into 40, it's going to be the juiciest, it's going to be the funnest, it's going to be the most playful, it's going to be the best. I am inviting you to step in with me and match my frequency. The next year, I am walking towards 40 like I came here for it. And I want to invite you to walk towards the next chapter of womanhood like you came here for it, because you did. And every single ancestor and every single descendant in your lineage line is quite literally howling for us right now, if we have the ears to listen. So, dear women, thank you for being here with me. And I invite you to not just leave the sisterhood thread here, but see if you can bring this frequency with you. And I want to dare you, maybe even doggy dare you, to compliment 3 women every day. Not just for a week, not just for a month, like literally until you take your last breath. This is baseline for us going forwards. I'm going to lift 3 women outside of myself every single day. And what that's going to do is that's going to require us to be lifting ourselves at least 30 times a day so that we can make it out the front door, yeah? So let's together recognize that sisterhood is not something that one woman weaves with 2 hands. This requires all of us. And what we are weaving here has been a prayer in our hearts for many, many generations. Thank you for being with me today. I'm wishing you incredible, incredible medicine of sisterhood find you in the most unexpected places along your path. For this is what we've all been praying for. So much love to you, sisters. I will see you soon. In the name of sisterhood, may we find what we're looking for.